Welcome back, Shalligators. Today, we're going to talk about Kourtney Kardashian's kind of unexpected friendship with TikTok star Addison Rae. Kourtney is 41, Addison is 19, and people are like, oh my God, they're friends? I'm going to break down what's actually going on behind the scenes from like a psychology standpoint with Kourtney. Is this like super weird that they're friends? Or is it a good thing? I'm going to tell you like kind of what's going on, plus what we can learn from this. Is it okay to have weird friendships? And just, we're going to break it all down. We're going to break it all down. But first, just want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO. You guys were tagging me in stories about this. I was like, actually, this is a really good topic that we could do. It's not necessarily about dating, but it can all kind of tie in to being that bad bitch that we always strive to be. Also, follow me on InfStream. It's a brand new platform that Shalligators are watching. We're talking about sexy stuff. We have a blowjob tutorial, handjob tutorial. It's all very safe for work. It's not like trashy or weird or anything like that, but it is going to give you a whole bunch of hookup tips, make you better in bed. And later this week, we're going to do a dirty talk tutorial, tell you how to dirty talk without like bursting out laughing or just feeling like gross and weird. So head on over there. It's $2 a month, ad-free, no censorship. It's amazing. So Kourtney and Addison, people have been like in a spiral about this friendship because on the surface, what would a 41-year-old have in common with a 19-year-old? How would these two people even have met? Well, apparently they met through David Dobrik, who, don't even get me fucking started on him. How old is he? Is he 50? He looks 50. He's a 50-year-old man, right? Is that not right? Anyway. He apparently introduced Kourtney to Addison because Kourtney's son, Mason, who's 10, likes Addison's videos on TikTok. Anyway, he's clearly got such a crush on her, which is kind of cute. And so Addison said that her and Kourtney just kind of like stayed friends, and she's been hanging out with them a lot in this like incredible, like $120 million villa in Malibu that the Kardashians have rented. And Addison has been in like some of Kourtney's photos and all this stuff. And yeah, people are like, what is happening? I like Kourtney. We look up to her as an example of a warm-blooded, I almost said alligator, a warm-blooded animal here in the Shallontrage. And we've talked about Kourtney's shortcomings too, that she is like, she can be mean and she can be oriented around power, right? And I believe that's why she picks these fights with her sisters so that they can say something back, she can act wounded, she can play the victim, or she can clap back at them. And any way you slice it, it all comes back to Kourtney's running the show, pulling the strings, and being kind of a puppet master and is oriented around that power. She's the oldest child, and a lot of like eldest children have power complexes. You know, they were thrust into that sort of surrogate parent role in the family. And so they're used to that dynamic. And if they feel like they don't have control over people, they can get kind of nasty. And that also goes to explain, as we've talked about before, her relationship with Scott Disick, right? Because on one hand, you're like, wait, she had no control over Scott. She did have power though, because no matter what she did, no matter how messy she got, who she was dating, how ostentatious it was never going to beat what Scott was doing. Therefore, she had this elasticity to do whatever she wanted with impunity. And she also had the parent-child dynamic with her and Scott, right? And again, like, it's not a ton of, it's like power and control. It's all these issues. And now that her and Scott are finally over, I mean, ostensibly, I have witnessed what I believe Kourtney's is going through like an immaturity renaissance. But I don't mean that in a bad way. Like after her and Scott were over, she dated Eunice, who was like, 23, and she was like 40, 39, something like that. They dated for like a year or so. She's been out with, she hooked up with Justin Bieber. She like has been out with, I think, like one of Diddy's sons. I don't know, he has a few, I can't keep them straight. But she's been really sort of embracing youth. And she gets a lot of shit for it. And let me tell you something. Part of the reason, like I said, I like Kourtney is because she doesn't give a fuck what people are saying about her. She doesn't care. She lives her own truth and she follows her own path. And I like that. And it resonates a lot with me because I tend to hang out with younger people too. I've talked a lot about how I date younger guys. I don't find older guys very attractive. I think they have a lot of baggage. I think that they're not at all willing to refine their like bad qualities. Like if you tell a younger guy, don't do that, they're like, oh my God. Okay. You know, like they are willing to grow still and learn. You tell an older guy that, he's like, fuck you, I'll upgrade. You're just desperate to have babies. I'm not settling down. I'm like, could not be more wrong, but okay. So I've always sort of like gravitated towards younger, but we'll talk about that in a minute. What is gravitating Addison and Kourtney together? Well, Addison talked about it recently with an interview with People magazine, and she said Kourtney is really helping her kind of like navigate this TikTok world and fame. Addison has like 52 million subs on TikTok. Dude, they better not shut that platform down. She's gonna lose her fucking mind. That is not good. Not good at all. She's also got a makeup line coming out. She said that Kourtney really helped her to learn how to tune out the hate and focus in on what she's doing and stay passionate about things. And when Addison said that, because I was at first like, weird. But then when Addison said that, I was like, you know what? I totally get that. I do basically what these chicks do. I mean, on like a baby scale, but obviously social media, stuff like that. And it is a very, very isolating career. And it's so funny that everyone now, an influencer or a YouTuber, it's like, it is a fucking hustle. Like you have no idea. I did a video on the upsides and the downsides of being an influencer. You can check that out. But it's very isolating. And you don't have a boss at the end of the hallway. You don't have coworkers. You don't have mentors. So when you find someone who's like, hey, let me help you with this, even if they're not necessarily like higher than you on the food chain. I mean, Kourtney obviously is, but even if they're not, even if they just have a different perspective or have been through something maybe you haven't, you like really lock onto them. One of my good friends who I consider like a mentor, her name is Cotton Tolly. Hi, Cotty. She's a beauty guru. She's awesome. And she has like been so helpful to me. She's a little bit newer to YouTube, but she's bigger than me on Instagram. And so we really help each other in this space. Also, Mona and Huda. Hi, loves! I love you guys! My sisters! Mona and Huda Katan have been like incredible mentors to me. Just the best baby girls in the whole wide world. And when you're focused on learning from someone, learning, just being inspired, it's not even necessarily like learning, because you're not always like picking someone's brain, but just looking at someone as an exemplar of businesswoman. Someone with poise, grace, someone who maybe is a little bit more diplomatic than you are at times, maybe more hardworking in some categories, maybe smarter in some areas. The package that comes in falls away, right? Because I could look at Cotton and be like, well, I have more subs than her on YouTube. I might not. I don't know. But it doesn't matter because she is so smart. We're getting knowledge from each other. Same with the Katan Bebe girls. I could be like, well, I mean, they're in a whole different space. Like all of these chicks I'm talking about, they're in the beauty space. Like what could I learn from them? It's not about the package it comes in. It's about that soul connection. And when we put limits on the connections we make, we're fucked. We clip our own wings. And it's so funny to me that like people are like giving Kourtney or Addison a hard time about this friendship. It's like all I hear when people are like, you shouldn't be hanging out with that 40-year-old or that 19-year-old. All I hear is low class. There's a reason Addison and Kourtney are rich. And there's a reason people who clap at them aren't. Because they have boxed themselves in to this world of like, that's stupid. You're fucking stupid. You're stupid. Because you have limited your horizons. You have told yourself, there is a limit to what I'm going to learn. If there's a limit to what you're going to learn, there's a limit to what you're going to earn. Okay? And I'm about that money. So is Kourtney. So is Addison. So are all these chicks I'm talking about. But it's not even about money. Money is just the physical manifestation of knowledge, right? It's a physical manifestation of hard work. And if it manifests in some other way, fabulous relationship, a healthy body, many stamps in your passport, great. However you define that is okay. And however you expand those horizons is more than okay. And there's nothing in this world that makes me crazier than wasted potential. Like it makes me insane. Goes back to issues with my father. He was a genius of a person. I think he completely wasted his potential, and it's very hard to respect that. It's very hard to respect that. And when I see that in other people, I am like revolted. I'm disgusted. Like people who chirp Kourtney and Addison, maybe they're less intelligent than those girls are, maybe not, but they have put themselves in a category of lower intelligence, like I said, by the fact that they refuse to expand their mind. Life is about collecting experiences. It's about collecting data. And if you're already telling yourself, I would never be friends with a fill in the blank, 19-year-old, 40-year-old, black person, trans person, girl who likes orange even though it is horrible for her skin tone, whatever it might be, you were only clipping your own wings. You were only shooting yourself in the foot. This last week, I was at a ranch. I'm back in, my setting. And I was hanging out a lot with one of the head wrangler, hi Keta, and she's 16. And, it was so refreshing for me to just have conversations with her and just talk to her. And we sat there and listened to music. And I'm like, I am gaining knowledge from this girl. Maybe I'm not gaining like life wisdom. Maybe that's like what I'm giving to her. I mean, like, hopefully. But I was learn new music I hadn't heard in a while, new vocabulary words, like just hearing about her experience as a high schooler. Like, I don't hang out with high schoolers usually. I don't do that. So to have that like influx of new data and just new opinions and points of view, it felt like travel. What does that mean? I love to travel. You guys know. I mean, before I moved to Montana, before the quarantine, like I was traveling constantly. I was gone constantly. And I've been like that my whole life because you need that influx of data. Don't you want different points of view? Forget opinions. Forget about opinions. Like, I actually don't want people to disagree with me or challenge my opinion on things. Like, I don't. I like to be right, whatever. But I want to see different cultures. I want to see different hairstyles. I want to see different foods, art, architecture, climates, fruit salad ingredients. There's so much out there. There are so many ways to live one life. And when you put a limit on the kind of people you're going to let into your life, you've chosen that you're only going to live that one way. And I guarantee that whatever way you're currently living isn't that awesome. It's not that awesome. You're looking at people like Addison and Kourtney and on some level being like, oh, I wish I lived that life. Bitch, you could if you weren't chirping them and trying to bring them down. XO quotes, hi Natasha. She posted a meme that said, anyone trying to bring you down is already below you. It's so true. And I've said this before, no one above you is coming for you. No one above you is trying to tear you down. It's people below, right? And people hate you for where you're going, not for necessarily where you are. They're jealous of the podcast you haven't recorded, of the subscribers that are coming, of that corner office you haven't moved into yet, of the diploma you're going to have really soon that they're not. People want to tear you down and keep you small because that's where they are. It's leveling. And we talk about leveling a lot. When an ego, someone's ego, their sense of self, their sense of place in this world is threatened by someone who has a stronger ego, who is going places, who is self-possessed, who is taking risks in service of authenticity, which is called leadership. That ego-threatened person is going to do one of two things. They're going to puff themselves up or they're going to cut the other person down. Usually it's a combo, right? So when we see people chirping Addison and Kourtney, all I hear is the screech of a flaccid ego. That's all I hear. I don't hear people who are living their own lives. I don't hear people who have committed to a life of curiosity, passion, growth, goals, achievement, bad bitch, perky tits, white teeth. I don't hear any of that. I hear beta. We know about beta males. There can be beta females, Karens, like just people like that. And it's an important distinction. We've talked about this before. Not everyone is an alpha or a beta. Most people aren't. Most people are just people, and that they're totally fine. So don't think that if you're not one, you're the other. Like, not at all, not at all. But I think a lot of you shalligators come to this channel because you are alphas, or there is a seed of alphaness in you. There's a slice of you that is like, we're gonna alpha this up a little bit. And it doesn't have to be your entire personality, but there's something in you that wants to grow, right? And so these people who come against Addison and Kourtney and stuff, they don't seem to want to grow. Either they don't want to, they're afraid of it, or they're incapable of it. I could give a shit, honestly. Like, I am so tired of looking at broken people and being like, oh, but what? Let's fix you. Nah, girl, fix yourself. I'm gonna give you the tools. You're gonna keep doing this video, but it's like I'm no longer empathetic towards people who try to tear other people down. It sucks to suck. I don't know, man. Like, it sucks to suck. So what do we learn from this? It is very hard to walk your own path with confidence. I mean, we can walk like shaky steps in heels. Oh, here I go. Oh my God. I want people to approve of it. But walking that path it is such a multifaceted way that you have to live. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. I've talked before about the opinionization of society. Social media, the internet, has given people the false impression that their opinion matters. I mean, fuck, look what I do for a living, you know? But you keep tuning in, so I like to think that it does. But people feel entitled to weigh in on the macro, on Lady Gaga's hair, Kourtney's nose, whatever. People feel entitled to weigh in on that. By the way, this Kylie in the Cardi B video fiasco, this is what 25,000 people decided to sign a petition for? Fucking pathetic. I want all of those people, this should be a law with change.org petitions for something this stupid. If you want to sign that petition, you need to also submit a copy of your voter registration. Since you have so many goddamn opinions, let's hope that some of them are relevant for, like, I don't know, changing the world, helping other people. Or no, are you just concentrating your opinions and your vote on having Kylie Jenner in a music video that you can simply avoid if you don't like it? Pathetic. What was I talking about? The opinionization. And people weigh in on the macro, right? They weigh in on stuff like that. And then they become comfortable doing it, and they feel entitled to weigh in on the micro, on your life, on what you wear, on what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've had people, I just adopted a dog. He's Cowboy. You guys can follow him on Instagram, cowboy.xo. He's the love of my life. My little peanut butter outlaw. I get him in 3 weeks, but if you go to my Instagram, you can see pictures of him. He's, the love of my life already. But I mean, people had a lot of opinions. Like, some people I know, they're like, I'm fine with you getting a dog, just not that dog. It's too big of a dog. And I was like, who the fuck asked you? Like, literally, who asked you? I mean, I want you to be happy for me, but I don't remember declaring my life a democracy. Your life is not a democracy. It's a shallocracy. It's an anocracy. It's a genocracy. It's a whoeverocracy you are. You are a dictator. I am an absolute despot in my life. I don't really need a ton of outside opinions, and I've learned that the hard way. What does that mean? I used to run my life based on other people's opinions. I was the epitome of a cold-blooded animal. I needed approval. I needed people to be okay with what I was doing. I needed people to ship my decisions. I don't feel that way anymore. Why not? Because it didn't make me happy. When I was living a democracy and everybody was weighing in and I needed a million opinions on everything from the detergent I bought to the person I was dating to the job that I had, I just felt like a kite in a windy sky. The person who I never really checked in with was myself. And when I finally got that memo, when I finally decided to switch, so many things in my life switched. Like Kourtney, I started hanging out with younger people. I hung out with some older people. I have teenage friends. I have 80-year-old friends. Like, I have a big influx of data in my life for that very reason. I have my New York friends. I have friends in Paris. I've got my mountain friends out here in Montana. I want a constant influx of not opinions, but data. What is the difference? Data is something you decide and you draw conclusions on. Opinions come from other people. And that's a huge shift, because when I made the decision in my life to not live by committee, to not make this just the democracy of Shallon, where everyone gets a vote and I have to listen to everyone, I thought, oh my God, does that mean I'm just going to have to close myself off to everyone? That I'm not going to have any friends, that I'm never going to go out, that I'm just going to be this hermit? I'm like the Unabomber? No. It meant that I could look at data and I could even listen to opinions in a neutral way. I was no longer the center of this democracy in a bad, like, malleable way. I was now the judge. I was now letting people present arguments to me that I could accept or reject. Whether those arguments were opinions, whether they were different lifestyles, different cultural choices, because I was cultivating that well of who I was. I was working on my rock solid core. How did I do that? I tried a lot of different things. I tried a lot of different fashion styles. Food. I traveled more, but in a way that, like, again, added in those data points, because I was trying to get very smart about what I genuinely liked. Do I actually not like to go camping? No, I fucking do not. I hate it. I've always said it's like purposeful homelessness. I'm not doing it. Okay, great. Now when someone's like, we should go camping, I can say with confidence, no, I'm okay. I'll meet you after. We can go for a hike, but I'm not doing that. Suddenly, I don't feel like a kite being battered around. I can listen to how much they love camping and hear about it and be like, that's awesome. I'm going to learn some skills for you, but I can also accept or reject this because I've worked on those data points myself, right? So this is hair doing. So the too long didn't read of this. Have a bunch of different friends. Make your life a data-driven experiment. Influx of data. Different music, different cuisines, different people, different regions. I know that we feel very trapped right now, right? And we are. Like, this is not an illusion. There's not a place we can escape to that this virus and civil unrest and all this stuff doesn't feel like it's affecting, and we feel trapped. We are never trapped inside our own mind, though. We have the internet. We have books, we have libraries, we have other people to connect with and talk to. And for us to put those limits on ourselves is living in a constant fear state, a constant state of pandemic and shelter in place. We're already physically sheltered. Let's not emotionally shelter ourselves in place too. So I am actually super on board with Kourtney and Addison's friendship. I don't think it's getting weird. I think it can be a mentorship, like again, like, how sad to limit yourself. How sad to limit yourself. Kourtney she's 40. She's not 80. Even if it was Betty White hanging out with Addison Rae, no one would say boo, because they would understand it's a mentorship dynamic. And like I said, even if it's not, let Kourtney have her immaturity renaissance. I think she has spent so much time acting like the parent to Scott that she kind of wants to feel like the kid. She wants to go back to being 19 and sort of like start over emotionally in some ways and sort of like revel in that, like the wide-eyed newness of being that young. Let her do it for a little while. What is she going to do? Give up her kids, run off and join the circus? She's fine. She's trying on different aspects of her personality the way that we all should. As long, like I said, as we don't like run off and join the circus. And by that I mean just get totally carried away, like reorient your life around something that's maybe more pathological than experimental and data driven. Like if she was only dating 18, 19-year-old guys, I'd be like, she might not love this for the long term. If she's trying to turn that guy into like the stepfather for her children, might not go well. I think she's got a very healthy attitude towards youth and youth culture and having different types of people around her and different types of friends. And truly it does inspire me. And when I'm like, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be talking to McKenna about like music and stuff. And I'm like, why? What am I going to do? Enroll in high school and hang out with her? No, we're just chilling out. We're just each getting data, learning from each other and growing. We're emotionally traveling. We are no longer sheltered in our emotional place. That's how you level up. That's how you become an alpha. That's how you grow as a person. And that's what makes life so incredibly enriching. How sad to limit yourself. And if you're going to limit yourself, just do us a favor. Don't limit the rest of us. We bite back. I want to know what you guys have to say about their friendship. Do you think it's cute or creepy? I think it's cute. It's fine. Whatever, it's fine. And do you have people in your life who are like wildly different than what people would expect you to hang out? Do you have like a biker gang friend? Do you have like mom friends and maybe you're 21? Like, do you have people in your life that are offering different data points so that you can travel within your own life and experience different points of view, different cultures, we could say, that are maybe expanding your horizon? And if not, who would you like? Because look, we're the Shallontrash, okay? We're here to connect with each other. If you're like, hey, you know what? I'm 18. I kind of a shitty mom. I would love to be friends with some moms and just like hear what your experience is like. Or not even if you had a shitty mom, or it's like, I'm an athlete. I want to talk to a gamer, vice versa. Let's just collaborate. Let's travel a little bit emotionally and open up those horizons. Like I said, follow me on Instagram where you can weigh in on topics and get some daily inspo, feel better about yourself. Also follow me on InfStream where you can learn how to do a lot of really cool stuff. I'll see you later, Shalligators.